Well, good morning, everyone. This morning we are fortunate to be joined by Erica Peabody. Erica is a Holton High School graduate. She is also the vice chair of the RSU 29 School Board. Erica, thank you for joining me for 15 minutes.
Thank you, Tim. Good morning.
So let's talk a little bit about it's potato harvest season. I want to talk a little bit about your background and then get into your family farm operation. So can we take a trip back memory lane and talk about your time in Holton High School and your connections to the community?
Absolutely, Tim. I graduated in 1998 from Holton High School, and I knew I always loved agriculture, and I went from Holton High School to the University of Maine at Orono, and I majored in horticulture. I knew I liked plants and growing them, but I wasn't sure exactly what direction I wanted to take. So I enrolled in horticulture and enjoyed that program. And I would work summers for the University of Maine Cooperative Extension in their potato integrated pest management program. And through that, I had some opportunities to do some independent studies on potato research topics, whether it was a disease or an insect, something that was impacting the crop, and I would be assigned a professor, and I really enjoyed those and learned a lot from them. And I was still on commercial farms with my job every day, and enjoyed interacting with the growers and seeing what was on different farms. And I thought I really enjoyed college, so I thought I'd keep going. And I graduated in '03 with a horticulture degree and 3 or 4 minors, and then I went into a Master of Science program in plant pathology. And I stuck with potatoes, and I had a wonderful advisor named David Lambert. He was my mentor and just an incredible person and scientific mind. I mean, he's renowned across North America for some of the work he's done. And I really enjoyed my time with him, learned a lot. I wrote my thesis on an organism called Phytophthora euryptus, which is part of the genus that caused the Irish potato famine. So it's something that impacted us many years ago, but it is still a problem globally. And was able to get a few papers published, and thought I was going to head towards a PhD and stay on the research route. But then McCain Foods had a job opening in Easton, Maine for an agronomist, and it wasn't quite done graduate school. I was still wrapping up my thesis, and they said, "Hey, please come on board and you can keep working on your thesis." So I did, and I really enjoyed my work at McCain. I worked with about 60 farmers across Aroostook County, working with them on growing new varieties, cultural practices that would help with quality and yields, and learned a lot about the processing side of the industry. And in the corporate part, I traveled across North America with McCain to regions where they have factories and such. But then I decided my heart was really in farming myself. And so I decided in 2017 to come back to the family farm full time and have a chance to work alongside my father. And so we became partners in Fitzpatrick and Peabody farms. And we grow potatoes in Holton and the surrounding areas. We're in Hodgdon and Linneus, and we're spread out as most farmers are nowadays. We need to travel to get access to quality land. And we grow the type of variety called Russet Burbank, which when you go to McDonald's and you get French fries there, or most of the fast food restaurants, that's the variety that you'll be served. And we grow some chips for the Frito-Lay market, Pilean Farms, so the refrigerated potato products that you buy through them that are processed in Mars Hill. And we employ local folks on a part-time and full-time basis. We require quite a bit of help. There's a lot of mechanization in agriculture and technology, but there's still a lot of hands-on work that's involved in it. And I spend a fair amount of time on spreadsheets and data analysis, but I also spend a lot of time right in the potato fields and in the potato storages. During planting and harvest, I'm there for every acre. So it's really broad, because I might go and spend 2 or 3 hours on a spreadsheet analyzing cost of production figures and what our fertilizer and our inputs and such are costing us, and tax planning. And then the next day we might go and spend 12 hours loading 20 truckloads that go to market. So it's really, really diverse in what I do on a daily basis. We've had some students that have helped us on the farm, from helping us load to picking rocks, which most of us my age all picked rocks as kids, and it's a wonderful learning experience, because it's some of the hardest work that you might ever do physically, and it's often done during the warmest part of the summer.
Yeah, so you mentioned labor and needing folks, and it's true. Mechanization maybe has changed farming, but it certainly has not eliminated the need for people. It maybe has shifted some of the responsibilities, but there's still a lot. You talk about the business side of things, the science side of things. There's the physical part of farming. How many employees do you have? And I'm sure that fluctuates throughout the year. And then can you go into how many of those are students when you get to those busy times of year, such as harvest time?
Absolutely. So we have about 3 to 4 full-time folks, and that doesn't include myself or my father. And my husband has recently joined us on the farm as well. And then seasonally, we need about a dozen folks during planting and harvest. And we have had students that have come. We have one student that works full time, or I shouldn't say full time. He works year round for us, and he comes after school, and he is a very valuable asset to our farm. We look forward to him coming after school and vacations and summer. And it's a Tuesday morning here in July, and I just heard him come in and start one of our tractors and head down the road to do some field work.
You and I both had opportunities when we were young. My father was a farmer until, well, I mean, it didn't just end abruptly, but I think it was around sixth grade officially, so maybe 12 years old or so. But a lot of valuable lessons learned out there in the potato field. Talk about that experience for you, Erica, and growing up on a family farm, and why that made you want to get into, going into, horticulture, and then eventually leading to a career as a farmer.
I think agriculture is a big part of our heritage here in Aroostook County. Many of us are connected to farms, and it's part of our life. These family farms are how we grow up. I mean, my kids are on the farm, and farming is it's, you don't leave it at the end of the day. It's what you do 7 days a week, mornings and evenings, and it's a wonderful way to make a living, because it's in our blood, I believe. And you work the same ground that your forefathers and your grandparents worked. And it gives us, I think, tremendous work ethic too, in that the days can be very long when we're in planting and harvest, and that provides great lessons in perseverance and just general work ethic.
And let's go outside of the family farm structures as well, because so I'll speak from, again, personal experience. When my father got done, he didn't leave that industry. He just went to a different area of it. Without agriculture, he wouldn't have had a second career, which was as a truck broker. But we can talk mechanics, we can talk bankers. There are so many different, you talked about the job you had at McCain's. there's very few jobs in Aroostook County that aren't somehow tied to still the agriculture or potato industry specifically. Can you talk about the importance of that and why it's important that we support it, why it's important that we have patience when we may meet a big piece of equipment on the road, why we still allow some students to get out, despite the fact we don't change the entire school schedule, we still support students getting out for harvest. They've got some requirements they have to meet, but still, it's a big part of everything that we do here in Aroostook County, especially economically.
Yes, Tim, exactly. It's far-reaching. Think in Maine, which 90% of the potatoes in Maine are grown in Aroostook County. So we're specifically talking about Aroostook County for the most part here. There's over 6,000 jobs related to agriculture, and it's really significant. It's our second largest crop in terms of revenue in Maine. And I mean, our accountants, our bankers, like you said, I mean, trucks, I mean, there's a tremendous amount of transportation that is supported by potatoes, because it's potatoes that are hauled from here with these trucks. And I also think too, the science and technology part of it, we do custom applications where we hire local service providers that I build a prescription in the computer of what needs to go on by acre for nutrients, and then they come in and they do that using GPS and those technologies.
Yeah.
But a tremendous amount of jobs are related to agriculture, and we need folks to help us and kids to have a chance to participate in this if they'd like, because I believe that they need at a young age to participate and learn if that's what they really enjoy doing.
If anyone is interested, if it's not already too late by the time we show this, what are some ways they can reach out and get involved in the harvest?
I would suggest reaching out to your local farmers. That we're in every community, and stop by our shops or our farms, or ask anyone at school how to get in touch with some of us, because we do welcome students to come to the farm, and especially students that might be interested in some hands-on work. It's a great learning experience, and being part of these farm crews I also think is a wonderful experience. We're like family, and we spend long days and hours together, and we're a close-knit bunch.
Erica Peabody, thank you so much for spending 15 minutes. Very informative. Appreciate you taking the time this morning, and I'll let you get on with the rest of your day.
Well, thank you for giving us a chance to talk about agriculture.